Please ignore this on my chin. It's really just not adding to the vibe, but can't do anything about it. But I'm back with another video. I haven't done one in a few weeks, so this is my second one ever. But I thought I would do a how I manage off-plan eating today, because I'm eating off-plan because I've got a party from 11 until 4, so that's a big chunk of time where, I mean, I could take my meals, but because I'm not dieting at the minute, I don't really feel the need to be that strict with it. So I'll just show you what I do throughout the day to prevent me from overeating and turning it into a whole disaster. I don't know, a few years ago I would just overeat and just not even enjoy the food because I was just thinking, oh, I'm not going to have this food ever, so I may as well eat as much of it now as I can, and then I would just feel shit the next day. But now I can actually have an off-plan meal, eat it, have it for what it is, and then just move on with my day and life. So yeah. So it's the weekend, Saturday, 5:30, and Saturday for me is always a rest day, so I've got lower macros on Saturdays anyway. I've still got loads of food to play with on my rest days. I've got 380 grams carbs, 140 grams protein and 70 grams of fat. And one thing this gaining phase has helped me a lot with is my relationship with food, because especially when I was dieting and before my first proper diet, I really struggled with food and overeating and just emotional eating. But since this gaining phase especially, I've just really been able to detach from it and just not think about what I'm eating as much, which is really good. So, oh, there's a spider right there. There was a massive one here the other day. This one isn't so big, but it's still large. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I just feel like I've been able to detach from food, especially since about February, because it's May now. In February is when I changed from macros to meal plan, and I definitely think that had a massive impact on reducing food noise and not thinking about food all the time, because you don't have to think about what you're eating, you just eat the same thing every day, which for me is exactly what I needed, I think. Because it didn't work for me at the start because I felt like I needed more flexibility and actually have things in my diet, like things that I need to satiate my sweet tooth, whereas now I don't feel like I need to eat off plan except for a croissant on the weekends and for occasions like today. So the first thing I like to do is hydrate. Really important. I always have a 1.5 litre bottle in the fridge ready for me when I wake up. That spider is freaking me out. So I always hydrate with 1.5 litres and I drink that first thing. It's got creatine, glutamine and hydroflow in it. And then I've got my usual first meal, so I've also got coffee. But my usual first meal is just cream of rice and yoghurt, blueberries and almond butter. The only thing I do on the weekends is change the toppings a little bit, so I've still got the same base for all my meals, but if I had like macadamia nut butter in the week, I just change it to almond butter or something. I don't always do that, but it's just a bit more flexible. It's just a bit more flexibility. But I try not to change the whole meal because I want to keep as many things consistent on the weekend as in the weekday as I can, because otherwise I just get thrown off because it's too different from the week. So yeah, so I'm gonna sit and enjoy this. Hi, I'm back again. It's now a bit later, it's 10 past 7. I'm gonna go on a little walk. Sometimes I just do the stair stepper. Just my walking pad, but I'm trying to actually get out of the house more. So I'm gonna go on a walk. I haven't even got dressed. I've just put some trousers on rather than my Grinch pyjama bottoms, and I'm just gonna go for a quick walk just to get some fresh air. Thing that I would recommend that's helped me is just to get some movement done rather than just like sitting waiting for the off plan kind of thing. So if you just keep yourself busy and just don't think about it as the whole point of the day, so get yourself on a walk or just any kind of movement, because for me it's a rest day, so I haven't actually got the gym and I haven't got cardio today, just a full rest day, just steps. So yeah, just gonna go on a little walk. I haven't even like washed my face or anything, but it's fine. It's a bit cold, but it's refreshing. So yeah, I'm just gonna do like 10 minutes and then go back. Hi, I'm back from my walk. Oh, I don't know if you can see my underwear, just mind your business. But I'm back from my walk now. It was nice. It was quite rainy, but it was nice to have actual fresh air instead of just going on the walking pad. So I need to actually start doing that more. But I'm now just prepping my last meal, because if I'm eating off plan, as well as my first meal being the same, I also like to try and keep the last meal the same as well, because it just kind of ties in the day and makes me feel not as different from my normal routine. So I'm just making another cream of rice meal, but this one has oats in it as well. So the only thing I do change is the quantities. So if I know I'm going to be eating something off plan, it usually has more fats and carbs in it, so I'll usually pull the fats and carbs from some of my meals just so I can have a bit more flexibility in the off plan. But I will show you. If you can hear the air fryer, I apologise. But I haven't got a microwave, so I'm just doing it in this pan. But I've done 50 grams of Conte cream of rice and 30 grams of oats, 25 grams of Uzi's chocolate hazelnut protein. So keeping the first and last meal the same. Obviously I've got quite a bit of calories to play with, so I'm able to do this and still have a good chunk of my macros go to that off-plan meal. So when I was dieting, I'd always want to keep my cream of rice meals, but from the meals during the day, like the filler meals, so if it wasn't a post-workout or a pre-workout meal, I'd just take carbs and fats from them. So they'd be a bit more boring, but it meant that I had more flexibility in the off plan. I'm in the middle of prepping my meal for around 8:30, so it's 8 o'clock now, and I always have my second meal at 8:30. I really need to start getting ready. I don't need to be there until 12 now, but I just don't even know what I'm going to wear, which is stressing me out a bit. But I think once I've got my hair and makeup done, then the outfit will hopefully fall into place. Because I think I've got 3 possible outfits. One of them's a dress, and I never wear dresses, so I don't know how that's gonna be. But then I also don't know what shoes I'm gonna wear, because I went to Amsterdam a few weeks ago and I wore heels to walk around Amsterdam. My foot is still recovering because I had to squish my foot into the heel. and I thought it was a kitten meal. I'll show you. Oh, so yeah, I think a kitten meal's like that, isn't it? But this was a challenge. Okay, I've got my next meal here, which is 50 grams of sweet chili rice cakes, 100 grams of green beans, and 2 vegan sausages. So I haven't got any direct fat sources in this meal. There's a bit of carbs, bit of fats from the rice cake, so this comes to 10 grams of fat total, because there's some in the sausages as well. So yeah, I love this meal. I used to eat this all the time when I was dieting. So I've put some garlic on it and some salt, and yeah, so I'm gonna eat this and then I'm actually gonna start getting ready. Hi, I forgot to update what I ended up wearing. So I'm wearing this blue top and these blue jeans that I found in my charity box that I haven't worn in a few years because they were too big, but they fit me now, so that's fine. I'm not really vibing with the outfit. It just feels really uncomfortable because I never wear actual like fitted clothes. I only wear joggers and oversized t-shirts and oversized jumpers, so I am I'm a bit uncomfortable, but it's fine because no one actually cares, so it's fine. So I also had another meal which I didn't film. I had the same as that sausage rice cake meal, just minus the green beans and minus 20 grams of rice cakes. So yeah, that is the update. So yeah. Hi, it's a bit later on now. It is 5:30. So I've had my party. Well, not my party, but I went to the party, had a meal, had a nice time, and now I'm back. And yeah, it was like a buffet, and because I'm vegan I had my own plate, which in the past would have made me feel like I have to finish the whole plate, because they gave it to me on this like this plate with loads of sandwiches on it and stuff. They had like corn ham and corn chicken slices in the sandwiches, and they had 2 vegan sausages, which I had, some vegetable samosas, and like, I don't know if it was an onion bhaji, but it was something of that nature. And I had a few chips as well, because there were some chips there. And I just had a little plate, and I went back for 2 more sandwiches, and then I felt satisfied, so I didn't feel the need to go back for more. So I came back. I went to Lidl first because I realised I didn't have much food, so I did that, killed 2 birds with 1 stone on the drive back, so I wouldn't have to go out again. But yeah, so I feel satisfied. I feel a little bit like holding water because I had a few Coke Zeros there, and I was wearing like jeans, which I never do, so I just feel like I was a bit bloated. But that's normal when you eat things that are not in your usual daily plan. It's just how you go about them, and I feel like I've become a lot better at managing them. I know I've got more food to play around with, but even if I was in a deficit now, I'd be able to manage the day a lot better than previously. So I'm really proud of myself for how far I've come with food, and just like managing things better and not seeing it as a fuck it mindset anymore. So but the other thing I would recommend is, once you've kind of had your off-plan meal, is to not kind of dwell on it and think about it all day, especially if it's during the day like mine was. So we had food at about 2 o'clock, and if that would have happened in the past, I'd feel like I would need to eat like not normal things on my plan for the rest of the day, and I'd just turn it into a whole free for all day. Whereas now I just kind of time it just put it in a box in that time frame and then just move on with the rest of my day and just eat my normal meals, because you just want to kind of keep as many things consistent as you can, because you're already changing a meal, you're already changing one thing, you don't want to change everything else. I found that helps a lot, because previously I've tried, well, not tried, but I've just changed everything. Just like feel like I haven't got much structure on previous days where I've been eating off plan, which has just made me that bit more stressed and anxious about eating off plan. Whereas now, if I keep everything else the same and just change that one meal, it's not as overwhelming as it was. So just try and keep everything as consistent as you can. So if you usually go for a walk after your meal, do that after your off plan meal as well. So that you're not just like hovering around the food kind of thing. I also feel like I'm having some cycle related symptoms, which is, I was going to say really exciting, because it is exciting, because I lost my period last year in about April, I want to say, or May, I'm not sure. And then I didn't get it back until January, and then it was gone again for 2 months. It came back in April, and I was really crossing my fingers that it was going to come back in May and stay. And I've just got a feeling that it's coming again. So I'm really, really happy about that, because that was one of the main priorities in the improvement phase, was to get my cycle back, because obviously I didn't want to start dieting again unless I got my cycle back. So I was trying not to stress about it, because I knew that if I was getting stressed about not being able to diet and not get my cycle back, then it would just prolong the actual getting my cycle back. So I'm really, really happy with that. I can feel it coming on now, because my app says it's due in 5 days. So I usually get like cycle related symptoms a few days before anyway, so it does make sense why I'm feeling like this. But yeah, so I've just got a chilled evening now. I'm all social batteried out for the day, so I'm just going to take it easy. I've got a few more steps to box off. I'm on 6k. I'm probably going to do the walking pad, if I'm being completely honest, because it's raining outside and I'm really cold and I just want to kind of have a chilled night. So yeah, it's been a nice day. I saw a lot of family that I haven't seen in a while. So yeah, I do need to clean my house because it is a bit of a mess. But yeah, so on that note, I'm going to refill Stan after I finish this, and then drink another one. So hi, so another update. It's literally like half an hour later and I got my period, so I'm absolutely buzzing about that, which is a weird thing to be buzzing about, but I'm really, really happy with that. I've taken my makeup off and done my skincare, because I just wanted it off. Wait, it's really dark in here. I'm gonna open the blinds, because it is only 6:30. I'm pretending that it's like 9 p.m. I'm gonna have an early night. I have an early night every night, pretty much, but I'm gonna have an early one because I'm really, really tired today, and I think that's probably to do with my period, because I always get quite tired. I filled up my hot water bottle because I'm not gonna lie, the cramps are cramping. That's one thing I haven't missed, but I would take the cramps any day if it meant I got my cycle back, so I am buzzing. I've been reading this book recently. Let me see what it's called, because I can't remember. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm only on page 32, but I'm really enjoying it so far. The start of it is kind of like setting the scene, so it's not actually giving you the tips. Yeah, it's just setting the scene. But the first chapter is called Don't Criticise, Condemn or Complain. so I'm really looking forward to reading that. So I've been trying to get back into my reading game. It really motivates me when I use the app Goodreads. I used to use Fable, but now I use Goodreads. Well, I don't use it as often as I should, but it's just good to keep track of the books you're reading and what to read. It just looks like that, and you can add friends on it, so it's just fun. So yeah, that is my plan. It's a Saturday night, 6:30, and I've got my hot water bottle. You know what, I wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm going to do my last meal now. It's just in the freezer cooling down. It should be pretty cool. So my final tip for managing off-plan meals is to keep the last meal the same. I think I said that earlier when I was prepping it, but keep the first and last meal the same is what's really helped me, because it keeps the routine there, and that's the main thing for me anyway, is the routine keeps me sane. And if I didn't have a routine there, I just know I would spiral if I ate something differently, which may sound a bit over the top, but especially if you've previously struggled with food and overeating and binging, actually having a bit more of a structure helps. It's not necessarily being restrictive and being controlling with food, it's just that sometimes that actually is more beneficial. Because I know if I was like eating intuitively, which I tried to do when I was recovering from binge eating, I just couldn't do it, because eating intuitively for me at that time was just eating 5 million bags of crisps and 3 bars of chocolate, so it just wouldn't work. So having an actual structure in place has really helped me. And I would say the past year, because I started with my coach June last year, since then I haven't binged at all. Obviously I've had a few slips and I've overeaten, and coming out of a diet I found it quite difficult reversing out of it, and at times I did slip, but you know, coming like 8 months later, I haven't had as loud food noise since then. So I definitely think it's because of a few of the things I mentioned, like keeping first and last meal the same. And even if I did like overeat before, I would still have the same last meal. I wouldn't just skip it because I ate too much. I would just keep it the same, satiate me, and then just draw a line under it and move on the next day. So yeah, but that is it from me. I don't know if this was helpful, but I just thought, you know, the last video was a bit more kind of, I wasn't really talking much about me, and I guess I probably should talk a bit more about me because it is my channel, but I don't really like doing that. So this was a bit of a outside my comfort zone video, but you know what, that is good. And oh, these cramps, you know, that is good as well. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy my cream of rice now. I've got glutes and hamstrings tomorrow, so I may potentially film that, but I think I filmed it. I think I did glutes and hamstrings for my last YouTube video, I can't actually remember, but I think it was the other glutes and hamstrings day, not the one I'm doing tomorrow. But anyway, I'm going to have a chilled night, and yeah, see you in the next video.